Good morning, children.
Good morning, ma'am.
We have completed the types of fertilization in our previous class. We learned about two types of fertilization depending upon where it is taking place. So which are those two types, Chivanya? Which are the two types of fertilization?
and external fertilization.
Internal
internal and
and external fertilization. And Prarthana, tell me what is meant by internal fertilization?
Ma'am, the fertilization which take place inside is called internal fertilization.
Inside where? Inside? Inside?
Ma'am, stomach.
Inside stomach. Prarthana. Where is fertilization taking place?
Ma'am, it is a fusion between
No,
sperms
no.
and
You answer this question first. Where is fertilization taking place? We learned it. Where is specifically? We know the female reproductive parts. We have discussed about female reproductive parts. Where is it exactly taking place?
Ma'am, uterus.
Hmm. Who will correct it? Who will
Female
correct it?
body.
Ma'am, fallopian tube.
Fallopian tube.
Fallopian tube.
Where is it, Prarthana?
Ma'am, fallopian tube.
Never make mistake. I had told when we discussed this topic, it's a commonly made mistake. Whenever the question comes, which is a site of fertilization, you have a tendency to write uterus. It is not uterus. Fertilization takes place in the fallopian tube. You can underline, you can write it down in your notebook and underline. Fertilization
Okay,
takes
ma'am.
place in the fallopian tube. And once the zygote is formed, it develops into embryo, then it goes and gets implanted on the uterine wall. Once zygote undergoes transformation and forms an embryo, embryo will go and get attached to the uterine wall. But fertilization takes place in the fallopian tube.
Fallopian tube.
Now coming back to your question, now modify that sentence. Who will tell what is meant by internal fertilization?
Ma'am,
Wait, Shivanya, let me give. Varada, tell me what is internal fertilization?
It takes place in the inside of the
Inside?
fallopian tube.
That you don't have to specify. Inside the body of the female. Fertilization taking place inside the body of the female. Can you repeat it, Varada?
Yes, ma'am. Fertilization takes place in the inside of the female body.
When fertilization is taking place inside the body of the female, you call it as internal fertilization. Give me two examples. And Leah, give me two examples of organisms where internal fertilization takes place.
Ma'am, human, dog, cat.
Human, dog, cat, etc. And external fertilization means, what is this, Shangiri? What is external fertilization?
The fusion of
Fusion of
male and female gametes which take outside of the body.
outside a female's body is known as external fertilization. Give me two examples. Who can tell me two examples?
Ma'am,
Fishes and starfish.
Starfish, fish, frog,
Frog.
etc. Okay, we'll continue now. Yes,
ma'am, last class you told to make you remind about
art integration, no?
activity. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I will. We'll be completing this chapter soon. Only 3 more slides are remaining. So, next topic is about why fish and frogs lay hundreds of eggs, whereas a hen will lay only one egg at a time. Birds, they lay, for example, if you take the case of hen, it will lay one egg at a time, but fishes and frogs, they lay hundreds of eggs. So what could be the reason? We are going to see why fishes and frogs are laying hundreds of eggs. The main reason is that in these organisms, in fishes and frogs, external fertilization takes place, but in hen, internal fertilization takes place. In frogs and fishes, external fertilization takes place and they will lay hundreds of eggs. Not only eggs, sperms also they will release into water, and the fusion of egg and sperm is taking place outside the body of the female, that is in the water body. Fertilization is taking place. But all the eggs may not get fertilized, even though frogs and fishes, they are laying or they are releasing hundreds of eggs into the water body, all may not get fertilized because the protection for these eggs and sperms is less because they are exposed to the external surroundings. But if internal fertilization is taking place, the fertilization is inside the body of the female. So there is the
And
egg
then,
and the
ma'am,
yes, yes, Varada.
nothing, ma'am.
Okay. So there more protection because it is taking place inside the body of the female. But in case of external fertilization, eggs and sperms will be released into the water. And these eggs can be carried away by water currents, wind, or it can be spoiled or it can be damaged by any predators. Rainfall can carry it away to some other place. And since these are exposed, other animals, predators can eat these eggs. So the chances of getting fertilized is less. So what they do is they lay maximum number of eggs so that at least a few of them will get fertilized. Just imagine fishes and frogs, they lay just one egg at a time. If that egg is eaten by some animals or it is taken by water current, there won't be any new organism produced. So what they do is they'll release maximum number, hundreds of eggs. So even if 75% is spoiled also, at least few that remaining eggs will be there to develop into new organisms. Hope you got the point. Yes, in internal fertilization, since the fusion is taking place inside the body of the female, more protection is there. It won't be eaten by any predators or it won't be affected by the external surroundings or bad climate and all cannot affect if the fertilization is taking place inside the body of the female. But when it is outside, it is subjected to different external surroundings, can be carried away by wind, can be eaten by predators, etc. A delicate layer, and another reason, a delicate layer of jelly is holding the eggs together. See the case of a frog. Frog is laid so many eggs in water. Hundreds of eggs are laid in water. Does this remind you of something, children? Is this resembling something else? Some edible item?
Some side plastic.
Yes?
And Cuscus.
Cuscus, that's the point.
I
Like
think
in
so,
lime
but I
juice
was
and
trying
all,
to-
we add cuscus, no? Cuscus resembles this. But these are not actually cuscus. But what are they? The eggs of frog.
Frog.
And in a hen's case, you know that the eggs are covered by a hard outer covering. Even though it is hard, if you drop it down, definitely it will break. But it's having a hard outer covering. But in case of frogs' eggs, no such hard covering. See, as you can see in the figure, only a jelly-like substance is covering it. Okay, so that means here in this case also protection is less. Hence egg is covered by a hard outer shell, but here it is covered by a jelly-like covering. So the extent of protection which the hen's egg is getting is more. So that is another reason. But in hens, internal fertilization takes place and the eggs laid are protected by a hard shell. So frogs and fishes, they lay maximum number of eggs so that at least a few of them will get fertilized. Did you get the point? Now this question can be asked. Why fishes and frogs lay hundreds of eggs when hen lays just one egg at a time. If you're asked to list out the points, reasons for that, these are the points you should mention. First point is that in frogs, external fertilization. In hen, internal fertilization. Then, when internal fertilization is taking place, the protection the eggs get is more because it is inside the mother's body. But in case of a frog, the eggs are laid in water. And if it rains, the eggs can be carried away. Or when water current is there, again, it can be carried away. Or some other animals can eat these eggs because it is outside. It's not protected. So this can be eaten by other animals. And in case of a frog's egg, no hard covering. It's having only a jelly-like covering. So protection is less. But in hen's egg, it's covered by a hard outer covering. So fishes and frogs, they lay maximum number of eggs so that at least a few of them will get fertilized. If majority spoil, still there'll be some of the eggs left to carry out or to develop into new organisms. Is it clear? Clear?
Yes,
Now I want you to summarize. Only then I'll be assured that you have understood. Yes, Alan?
slide.
Can you show
Ma'am,
the
can you
You
show
want
the
to see the
slide?
slide again? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, children. Who is going to tell me the points?
Ma'am,
Yes, Prarthana. Yes.
ma'am, in frogs, external fertilization take place, whereas in hen, internal fertilization take place. Frogs lay hundreds of egg in water and sperms also. Uh, but all the eggs cannot be fertilized.
Why?
Ma'am, because of water movement, rainfall, wind.
Hmm.
Ma'am,
Some
the
animals can.
animals in water eat um, the eggs laid by frogs. Um, the frogs' eggs are protected by a jelly-like substance, a delicate layer of gels, whereas in hens, eggs can be protected by hard cells.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. You compensated for what you could not answer in the beginning. Okay. Excellent. Very good. So we'll continue. Now moving on to in vitro fertilization. Have you heard about in vitro fertilization, children? Before
No,
that,
ma'am.
let me ask you one thing. Have you heard about test tube babies? Yes?
No, ma'am.
Anybody?
test tube issue like that?
Huh? Yes. Yes,
Ma'am,
Vishal?
test tube issue?
Test tube babies, have you heard?
Yes.
What is meant by that? What have you understood? Test tube babies means how are they formed?
Ma'am, some women
Don't read from the textbook. I don't want that. What is there in your mind? Huh? Anybody? When you hear the term test tube babies, what do you understand from that?
From tube.
Baby? Alan?
They are not fully
So
formed.
Alan said something. Alan?
Nothing.
Not clear, child.
Ma'am,
Repeat.
nothing. He said nothing.
Okay, okay. Anybody? Anybody else? Let it be guess. No problem. Try. What have you understood?
And the baby which is not fully developed.
Not fully developed. But test tube babies are, they become fully grown, adult, they become adult, lead a normal life.
Okay.
But how are they formed? Why it is not a test tube? Are they born in the test tube?
Ma'am, artificial.
Artificial. Oh, you people are very smart. It's artificial
I'm
fertilization.
not by reproduction.
Not?
By reproduction.
Not produced by reproductive organs. So I thought you might tell the answer that these babies are born in the test tube. Anyway, you haven't told that. I think you have more understanding about this topic. I think you might have read from the textbook. Yes?
Ma'am, embrace now is formed in test tube.
Yes, it is not exactly a test tube. When you say test tube symbolizes a laboratory. Okay, now we'll see what is meant by test tube baby. Abhinav has written babies who are Let me check. Babies who are born before 10 months or don't have much immunity are born in test tubes. It's not that they are born in test tubes. A test tube is actually a symbol for laboratory. Let's learn what is meant by in vitro fertilization. Children, in vivo and in vitro. In vivo means inside the body. Okay. Whereas in vitro means outside. In vivo means inside the body. In vitro means outside the body. Taking place outside the body. In human beings, you know that normal conditions, fertilization is internal. But here in vitro fertilization, it is made, the fertilization is made to take place outside the body. Now let's learn the details. Some women, they cannot conceive, they cannot produce babies because by some block in their fallopian tube or by some defect, the sperms cannot reach the fallopian tube. You know that it's in the fallopian tube that the fusion of male and female gametes take place. Okay, it is in the fallopian tube that the fusion of male and female gametes is taking place. But in some ladies, because of the defect in their fallopian tube, the sperms cannot reach there. So their fertilization will not take place and babies also cannot be formed. So in such cases, they go for a method, a technique known as in vitro fertilization. So doctors might suggest for IVF or in vitro fertilization. And what is done is doctors will collect freshly released egg from the mother and sperms from the father. And then under laboratory conditions, they will be allowed to fuse together. Means fertilization is not taking place inside the body. In a human being, normally it is inside. But due to some defects in the female fallopian tube or due to some block or any such defect, these eggs and sperms, egg from the female parent and sperms from the male parent will be taken and they will be made to fuse outside the body, and that is known as in vitro fertilization. And fertilization may or may not happen, and it will be kept, this particular process will be kept under observation. And in case egg is fusing with the sperm and fertilization is taking place, the zygote, you know, zygote will be formed if fertilization takes place. And the zygote formed is made to develop for about a week. For about a week, the fertilization is allowed. Once the fertilization has taken place, the zygote is formed. The zygote will be allowed to grow or develop for around 1 week. 1 week, it will be growing under laboratory conditions. After 1 week, this will be taken. This 1 week old embryo will be taken and will be placed inside the mother's uterus. Then rest of the changes or rest of the development just like any other baby. And you call the babies born through this technique as test tube babies because the initial stages of development or the fertilization is taking place outside the body under laboratory conditions. That is why you call these babies as test tube babies. It's not that they complete their growth inside a test tube. Complete development takes place in the uterus just like any other baby, and the baby will be delivered by the mother also just like other babies. Such babies are known as test tube babies. Okay, I'll repeat it once again. If you're asked, actually this is given in a box, but I thought this topic you should know. That is why I have included it. It's actually in the yellow box in your textbook. IVF, it's a very familiar term, so you should know. In spite of being in the textbook, if we skip it, you will never know what is meant by this IVF. In higher classes, definitely you will learn. So IVF or in vitro fertilization means here the fertilization is made to take place outside the body of the female. For that, doctors will collect eggs and sperms from the male and female parents, and they will be allowed to fuse together under laboratory conditions. And in case fertilization takes place, the zygote formed will be allowed to grow for 1 week. Once 1 week growth is completed, the embryo will be inserted into the mother's womb by the uterus by the doctor. Further development and the delivery takes place just like other babies. And babies born through this technique is known as test tube baby. Okay. Now moving on to the next and the last slide.
1 minute.
Okay.
Can you show the slide?
Ma'am,
Oh, start recording.
So we'll continue from where we stopped. There was power failure again, children. So I'll repeat it again. Okay, this you wanted to see once again now? So babies born through IVF, you call as test tube babies. The only difference with the other babies is that here the initial stages of development is taking place outside the body, and hence the name in vitro fertilization, which means fertilization taking place outside the body of the female. Shall I change? We have a few minutes more. Shall I?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Next is the difference between oviparous and viviparous animals. Viviparous animals means animals which give birth. They don't lay eggs, they give birth, like cats, goats, humans, tiger. We call them as viviparous animals. They give birth. Whereas there are another group of animals who lay eggs. Ova means egg. So oviparous means, remember the term ova, egg. Oviparous, egg laying animals. Birds, lizards, crocodiles, etc. are some of the oviparous animals. I'll repeat once again, viviparous and oviparous. Viviparous means animals which give birth. They are not laying eggs, they give birth. And if they lay eggs, you call them as oviparous. Giving birth, viviparous. Laying eggs, oviparous. Human beings, tiger, goat, cat, etc. Some examples for viviparous animals. Oviparous animals include birds, lizards, crocodiles, etc. Okay. Now moving on to the last slide,
1 minute.
metamorphosis.
Okay, can you show that?
Yes, I'll repeat. Let me conclude this. With that, we are ending the chapter. After that, I will show you. Transformation of larva into adult through drastic changes. You call it metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is the transformation of larva. How? By drastic changes into an adult. Transformation of larva into adult. How? through drastic changes. That is known as metamorphosis. You know that a frog lays egg and it will hatch into a tadpole. Early tadpole, late tadpole. Tadpole resembles a fish than a frog. And then tadpole will develop into frog. So it undergoes so many changes before it becomes an adult. Same is the case with butterfly. It will lay egg will hatch into caterpillar forms chrysalis or pupa. And pupa will be inside a cocoon. You have learned in lower classes. Pupa will remain inside a cocoon, and then this pupa will emerge out as a beautiful butterfly. Even though caterpillar is ugly looking, butterfly will be very beautiful. So many changes are undergone. And at the end of these changes, they will emerge into an adult. So the transformation of larva into adult through drastic changes is known as metamorphosis. You wanted to see the previous slide, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Animals that give birth to young ones, we call them as viviparous. Animals which lay eggs, oviparous. Ova, egg. Animals laying eggs, oviparous. Animals giving birth, viviparous. Okay?
Yes, miss.
Okay, children, quickly tell me what are oviparous animals? Alena, what are oviparous animals? Animals that lay eggs are known as oviparous animals. And what are viviparous? Shaza? Viviparous?
Animals which lay egg outside called
Which lay eggs outside. Animals laying eggs are oviparous. So viviparous means
animals which give birth.
animals which give birth are known as viviparous animals. Okay. So we'll wind up. Please do read, revise this chapter and come next class. Agreed? The
Yes,
whole
ma'am.
chapter revise
Yes, ma'am.
next class. Okay, thank you, children. About the
Thank
art
you, ma'am.
integration, I'll leave a message today itself. So thank you. See you next
Thank you,
class.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.